to tremble at the mention of his name. Every knee shall bow. Whenever I get in trouble, I just call him by his name. Whenever I'm burning down, I just call him by his name. I call him Jesus. What's his name? Jesus. He is Prince of Peace. Jesus. 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 He's my lily in the valley. Jesus. Bright as a morning star. Jesus. Come on and help me call him Jesus. Oh yeah. Jesus. I got one more thing I want to say here. When I was sick and I couldn't get well, the man came by my bedside and laid his hands on me. That's what he did. He healed my body one day. Who did it? Jesus. Have he ever touched your body? He healed my body one
just
day.
like he did for Ricky.
Jesus.
Have he healed your body?
He healed my body one day.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
He said, by his stripes,
He healed my body one day.
we are healed.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
Call his name.
Jesus.
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 My Jesus.
Jesus.
I can call on his name.
Jesus.
Early in the morning,
Jesus.
late in the midnight hour.
Jesus.
It makes no difference.
Jesus.
Whenever I call the man,
Jesus.
he's always there.
Jesus.
He's always there.
Jesus.
He ain't never left me.
Jesus.
He ain't never forsaken me.
Jesus.
He's always there.
Jesus.
My Jesus.
Jesus.
My Jesus.
Jesus.
My Jesus.
Minister Ricky McDuffie and the family right there. Hey, Shamika, James, Rodney, Ricky. How are y'all doing? South Carolina in the house. Amen. Y'all, let me tell y'all. I'm telling y'all, it is so much going on in this world right now. You just got to really buckle down. You got to buckle down and learn how to love your children despite, you know, what they may look like, despite how they talk, despite the crowd that they hang with. You know, we got to get back to a place of love. So my relationship 411, yes, it is time for the relationship 411. My relationship 411 is the importance of having a relationship with your teenagers who often go forgotten. With all this crazy mess that's going on in this world, we're thinking about politics. We're thinking about wearing the best church hat, who's got the finest weave. We're thinking about how we're dressing. But who is there for the teenagers? Who is there for the teenagers? Who is supporting them mentally and spiritually? And, you know, I find that some of the most best homes often are lacking that one little touch in there of love that can change and make the difference in a teenager's life. And so, well, first of all, let me say this right here. Delilah, I don't know if y'all know Delilah or not, but she's a wonderful radio angel. I'm telling you, she is like my radio mentor, and she does not even know it. She is my inspiration actually for the Midnight Love Garden, because she is always so encouraging. And when I'm riding up and down the road, that's who I listen to. And she's always, you know, giving people solutions. We are solution makers. Amen. She's always giving people solutions and encouraging others, while yet, you know, sometimes we start to go through. And so October the 3rd, her son took his life. He was a teenager. He took his life and through suicide. And you know, my condolences go out to Delilah and her family. I love y'all. I don't know y'all personally, but y'all my family, amen. Y'all are my brothers and sisters through Christ. And I just tell you, my heart goes out to Delilah because, like I said, she's always encouraging everyone else. And now is the time that she needs to be encouraged. So if y'all can, go on Facebook and you can find her page. It simply says Delilah. And I'm telling you, she is a woman of faith. So y'all leave her some encouraging words, all right? Okay, now, the relationship 411 is the importance of having a relationship with your teenager. And a lot of times, we don't realize that our children are growing up. They are growing out of old ways and going into new ways. And it's challenging. At the same time, it's exciting, it's fun. And then, it's like, oh God, what's going on here? And yes, you want to lose your mind. Yes, you want to pull your hair out and you want to become frustrated because, they're making you feel weak. In a way, they make you feel weak when we see our children go do something that we don't approve of. It kind of makes you feel weak and like you haven't done the best that you can. Well, listen, the thing is about teenagers is they're going to experiment out here with life itself. I'm not saying necessarily drugs or anything, but life itself. And since technology has came out, the peer pressure has gotten real deep. And the influence on our teenagers has gotten heavy. Because now they want to be like some of everybody. And they are just lost. They are little children trying to find their way through. And in the midst of this, they are getting frustrated and upset too because they don't know quite who they are. And for a fact, even us adults sometimes don't know who we are. So how we feel when we get like that. We have a little spell. We go through depression and stuff. So imagine how our teenagers are whenever they're going through that time of growing out of something old that they're used to and trying to jump into this new familiar way, a new way that's not familiar to them. So the one thing we got to do, y'all, is parents, we got to get back to unconditional love and understanding what unconditional love means to your teenagers. And unconditional love to them is like, no matter what they look like, you're still going to love them. You're going to be there to support them. And unconditional love, the only way you're going to have unconditional love is first to have a foundation for yourself. And your foundation has to be with God. If it's not with God, I'm telling you, you will cuss your children out. You will cuss your children out. If it's not with God, you won't have any patience. You won't be operating in any of the fruit of the Spirit. And you're going to need all of those fruits, the kindness, the peace, the love, the joy, all of that, the patience. You're going to need all those fruits in order to help guide your children through these teenage years, because we are their guiding light. We are the only light that they have. And if we are dark, then we cannot lead our children into becoming, wonderful adults, loving adults. So we have to get back to that unconditional love. Again, no matter what they look like, no matter what his or her assets, liabilities, and handicaps are, no matter how he or she acts, we have to still love them. We have to correct them through love. That's all it is, folks. We have to be patient and hear what they're saying. Because sometimes, let me tell you, a conversation only goes great whenever one person is listening and one person is talking. If you're yelling with your child and you're not hearing what they're saying, they're not hearing what you're saying. And guess what? That's a ball of confusion. And God ain't in no confusion. So, in having patience, you got to listen to what your children are saying. And parents need to remember that teenagers are children. They're children. They're not adults. Listen, my children are 22 and 23 years old. And I know that even though they're living out on their own and they got their own families, and I got a whole bunch of grandbabies, 5 grandchildren, even though I know that I still have to listen and be that light in their life. They're still looking for mama and daddy to still lead them at the age of 23. So we have to remember that they're still our children. Teenagers are children. Teenagers will usually act like teenagers. You can't expect them to be anything more. All this means is you got to do a little more work on you. You got to do a little more soul searching on you. Who are you? Can you handle what you about to go through? You have to pray to God to give you revelation on these things beforehand. Don't wait till the drama comes in to want to be prayed up. You need to be prayed up beforehand. So we got to understand that most of these teenagers' behavior is not going to be what we like. They're not going to want to go to church. So you know what you got to do? You got to spread that word throughout your house. It starts at your house. If you love your teenager only when they please you, which is conditional love, and you only show them love during those times, that child is not going to feel loved. That child is going to feel like, if I don't do this, then mama or daddy's not going to love me. It doesn't give them any security, and it would damage their self-image and prevent them from developing mature behavior. So many times we see adults who don't act mature, and that's because they're not developed in that area, because nobody never took the time to have the unconditional love that they need and support that they need during their transition days, from going from the old ways to the new ways, from the old growth to the new growth. So teens definitely need love. We need to get back to that place of love. If love is given to them, eventually they will start acting like they have love. Love is an action word. It's action. And once we start showing them getting up off in our sorry butts, because a lot of parents are just sorry these days. Instead of really correcting children out of love, we grab the cell phone, we run to Facebook. Instead of taking time to go out with your children, we run to Facebook. Instead of taking your children to church, we run to Facebook. Instead of telling our children about God, we run to Facebook. So it has to come back to the point where you have to grow in the Lord in order to be the light for your teenager. All right, y'all. That is the Relationship 411 right here in the Midnight Love Garden with Ms. Coco Bowden. And let me see what I want to play here. We have so many great songs. Okay, I'm going to play Jeff Patterson and Company with Everything's Gonna Be Alright, and I'm going to dedicate this to all the mothers of teenagers, mothers and fathers of teenagers. Everything's going to be all right if you wait and you trust in the Lord and you build up who you are and build your relationship with God. Then you can certainly help your children build theirs as well. All right, y'all. You're listening to UGA Gospel Store Midnight Love Garden with Ms. Coco Bowden right here on iHeartRadio.
Said I know it will be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. I know it'll be alright when he comes. Oh, when he comes. Yeah. When my Savior comes. When he comes. Oh yeah. There was a woman in the Bible days. She had been sick and she began to pray. And she heard that Jesus was passing by. And she decided to give him a try. And that's when she said, when he comes, oh, when he comes. It's gonna be alright. I know everything is gonna be alright. I know